You guys, I think it's pretty safe for me to say that regardless of what your expectations were for the 2022 NBA season, that the mass amount of success that we have seen out of the Chicago Bulls is one of, if not the most surprising things of this entire year. I mean, sure, even though they did make some pretty substantial moves over the previous offseason, no one definitively knew if it was actually going to result in success. And from what we've seen so far, I think they exemplify the definition of success more than any other NBA team. And I say this mainly because of how the Chicago Bulls have been able to consistently keep themselves atop of the NBA leaderboard, even with having to deal with possibly the most injuries any team has seen this season. But with these injuries, the Bulls have made the most of their situation as they have seemed to stumble across a hidden gem in the process. And if you haven't heard of him, his name is Ayo Dosunmu, and what he is doing for this team needs to be looked into a little bit further. One sec, if you haven't yet, don't forget to like the video if you do enjoy, subscribe, and turn on those noties to never miss another NBA video. Love you guys. And for any of you regulars that haven't yet, I am highly encouraging you to do so, because according to my numbers, over 95% of you guys coming back to watch the content haven't even subscribed yet. So for anyone that does, thank you so much. But anyway, let's get back into the hidden prodigy that is none other than Ayo Dosunmu. And for anyone who hasn't watched the Chicago Bulls this season, especially as of recently, you might not understand what the hype around this dude is. Because if you were to solely look at his averages this season, you would see that he's only averaging around 8 points, 3 rebounds, and 3 assists per game, which when you look at it in hindsight are actually some pretty solid numbers for the 38th overall pick in the previous draft. But in all seriousness, when Ayo Dosunmu was actually drafted to the Chicago Bulls, there was honestly little to no expectation that he would be seeing the basketball court for this team nearly as much as he currently is, which was mainly due to the fact of how loaded this roster was from top to bottom with guards. But as we mentioned previously, with so many unforeseen circumstances hitting this Chicago Bulls team, it was almost inevitable that the Chicago Bulls would need to give the second round guard an opportunity quicker than they and even he expected. And it's safe to say that with this opportunity, Ayo Dosunmu has showed the potential to be a future NBA star as well as the steal of the 2021 draft. As just for example, Ayo has been given the starting point guard position for the Chicago Bulls pretty much over the course of the last 2 months. And looking specifically at his numbers for the entire previous month, Ayo Dosunmu might have very well been one of the most efficient point guards across the entire league, as he had averages of around 10 points, 3.5 rebounds, and just under 7 assists per game, while also having very impressive shooting splits of 49.5% from the field and 37% from 3. Now I know for a starting guard, these numbers aren't crazy or eye-popping by any stretch of the imagination, but with all things considered, the level of efficiency that Ayo Dosunmu plays with is something that really cannot be taught. And looking back into his numbers, what I want to focus on specifically with Ayo's game are both his playmaking ability as well as his shooting efficiency. Because starting with playmaking, I truly think that this is the biggest area of Ayo's game where he already seems to be like a veteran with the ball in his hands. And in fact, I'm aware it's a small sample size, but just to give you an example of what Ayo Dosunmu has been able to do so far this season, he already has 9 different games with at least 8 assists, as well as 4 different games with 10 or more assists. And do you guys want to know who the only 2 Bulls rookies are over the last 15 years to have 4 different games with 10 plus assists? Well, the list consists of yours truly, Ayo Dosunmu, and the one and only Derrick Rose. If you want to talk about elite company, Ayo Dosunmu is continuing to work his way into this every single night. And again, if it still doesn't seem like anything crazy, just keep considering the fact that the Bulls are getting this out of a second round pick, who usually, more times than not, end up spending their entire rookie season in the G League for most situations. But we haven't even got into his ridiculous shooting efficiency yet, which I believe is how he is going to earn the majority of his minutes going forward. Because so far this season, Ayo Dosunmu as a rookie is putting up shooting splits of 52% from the field, almost 41% from 3, and a ridiculous ridiculous 59.5% effective field goal percentage. And also, to make it somehow even more impressive, Ayo Dosunmu is just one of 3 players across the entire league to be shooting at least 50% from the field and at least 40% from 3. Which I don't care what way you've been taking in everything I've mentioned, but what we are seeing from Ayo Dosunmu is nothing short of a monumental breakthrough for any rookie's expectation. And with everything I've mentioned so far, I somehow haven't mentioned his defense yet, which is another key cornerstone of his game. I don't have any ridiculous facts to throw at you about Ayo Dosumu's defense, but what I will say, as referring to an eye test of watching him guard some of the top tier point guards across the entire league, is that his defensive abilities are well above average, and I might even be lowballing it with that statement. And again, with making this video, yes, it's clear that Ayo Dosunmu is not the Broadway breakout rookie that is dropping 25 every night, but with the cards that Ayo was dealt, he is truly doing everything that is needed out of him from this Chicago Bulls team. I mean, when thinking about the current composition of this Bulls team, they really can't be asking for anything more than another insanely efficient piece to be coming off of their bench. Because I think it's pretty clear that the core of their starting 5 in Lonzo, Levine, Demar, and Vooch will be set in stone by the time we get to the postseason. But then to just think about all of the pieces the Bulls will have available to them in their second unit, which, just to name a few of them, include players like Alex Caruso, Ayo Dosunmu, Kobe White, newly acquired Tristan Thompson, Derrick Jones Jr., Troy Brown Jr., and even Matt Thomas. It really has me wondering if they will have the deepest bench in the postseason, especially with adding Ayo Dosunmu to this second unit. But all in all, you guys, what we have seen out of Ayo Dosunmu thus far is honestly one of the craziest things we have seen across the league. And if you haven't paid attention yet to the unexpected breakthrough he has had for this team, I'll tell you that there is still time to witness it, and the next time you think about throwing the Bulls on, just keep an eye on this man. But now, after I've given my 2 cents on Ayo Dosunmu, I now want to hear what you guys have to think about him. So please let me know in the comments, do you think Ayo Dosunmu was the clear-cut steal of the 2021 draft? And on top of this, what do you think the ceiling is for Ayo Dosunmu throughout his entire NBA career going forward? Also though guys, if you haven't yet, don't forget to go down below and leave a like on the video if you did enjoy, and of course subscribe while you're down there. I truly cannot say it enough, you guys. We are coming out with brand new NBA videos every single week around here. If you haven't yet, I'm telling you, join the family. You do not want to miss out. But on that note, and as always, thank you so much to each and every one of you for watching. I appreciate all of you more than anything. You all know this, and I will see you guys in the next video.